Now, chance for a shot from range. It looked as though it took a slight deflection. Yes, it did, out for the corner, but he certainly had to be mindful of that shot from Mandela. Has to be sure, Victor James also took a bit of a dive then towards his right, although it was going wide.
That was a good striker's instinct where you just chase the ball and turn the body, and on the turn, you whack it. So that's when you have good intentions.
Ball in here now, here's a chance! Great chance! And while he was looking to steer it to the inside of the far post, in the end, Masangani went, well, just over. Lovely chance, free header, nobody picking up the men on the blind side. And yet another good chance goes the way of Eswatini.
Masangani could have just put it in the back of the net there or force a save from the keeper, but the technique let him down. Just headed it with the top of the head and right across. Across was a good idea, but on target should be.
Well, we're hoping for a good start to the tournament here. Mafa, inside the opening 20 minutes, we saw the set piece from Botswana. Great set piece, super save. We've seen one more save, in fact 2 more saves coming out of Victor James on the other side of the field, but good football here from both these sides as the ball go out for a goal kick. They're both putting it on the ground and seem comfortable with it. The pitch allowing for a flowing game of football as well.
That's the beauty of it, because when you watch youngsters in action, they obviously have great ambitions. So they're not even buoyed by the fact that there are crowds here. Whether the crowds are here or not, they're not bothered at all. And in a sense, they just give their all because they're not used to them anyway. But the biggest prize, since we don't take it for granted, the scouts are watching, and some of them will end up playing here in South Africa and elsewhere. Speaking of that, you spoke of Shongwe on the pitch now for Eswatini. We have Abel Shongwe, William Shongwe, who played here.
Now, lovely cross here to the blind side and finding Masangani, who should have done better with this header.
Yeah, the technique let him down.
Well, once you speak of former players from Eswatini that have done well, don't forget the elect of Tony Tabete as well, who played until late in his career out in Eswatini.
Kameza too. Charles Johani, we had a few. Yeah.
But Fisher Kondo as well, another.
Then even in Botswana.
Oh, no.
So these youngsters are motivated that they could end up playing here somewhere.
Yep, they've certainly got a good few examples of players that did well in tournaments such as this, were picked up by the bigger sides in South Africa, if you will. Remember one, Joel Muhorosi out at Bloemfontein. Celtic, most caps for Botswana, I think over 90 if I'm not mistaken.
Dixie, and then now they still have Ditlokwe who's with Kaizer Chiefs. So they believe. This is a tournament of beliefs.
As far as top scorers, the name Jerome Ramatakwani comes to mind. Space to turn here for Lesego as he looks to play it down the line. Space in the middle of the park here. Ramote, the man to pick up, supported by Tibedi. Sinono. Well, the attempt to try and spread it and find this Oko here on the near side is overcooked. The Orapa United man unable to keep it alive, so thrown it is to Eswatini.
Good idea, but the pass wasn't on, especially because he had an opponent next to him. So even if he had received the ball, he was always going to be under pressure.
Yep.
So be patient, build up from one side, and make sure that after overloading one side, then you get this to be occupied and use it as a blind flank. But it was so obvious that it was now going in the opposite direction.
Did mention that these sides did meet in the tournament opener in Durban last year, with Botswana walking away winners. They also met in October in a friendly that was won by Botswana. Home game for Botswana, beating Eswatini with a 2-1 scoreline. So Eswatini will most definitely be looking for a bit of revenge then. Defensive mistake, allowing Botswana to pick it up inside the final third. Nicely done in finding a pocket of space to keep the pressure on. Keeping moving quite nicely. Oh, Botswana, oh, that's a lovely ball. The run just offside then in trying to get to the byline, but that pass come a second earlier. Botswana then would have been able to get in behind that defense. So let's have a look at it again then. Is it offside? I think not.
It is definitely offside because the assistant referee was just in line and you could see that the blue shirt was just a bit deep. The run was made a bit early.
Nice flick on, good anticipation by Twala. There could be a chance in here for Eswatini. Numbers back for Botswana. Ball across and well dealt with to deal with the danger from Twala. Well, the shot from range didn't hit with a lot of power then, just not on target from MANDELA. 21 years of age, big and strong. Operating in the middle of the park in the heart of midfield for Eswatini. Very good start to this game for Twala.
I like the fact that he can even use the right foot. You know, sometimes when you're left-footed, when the cross is not on, you're stuck. And if he hadn't hit the opponent there, he would have found a blue shirt.
Both these nations, of course, coming into these games following what was a busy June. To the start of the month, of course, the World Cup qualifiers were very much a talking point, especially something to look forward to at the end of the last season as far as club football is concerned.
Very busy indeed season. I can recall on the day when we had Bafana against Zimbabwe, we also had Lesotho against Rwanda, and what a game that was. And everything to play for all the countries.
Few of the South African or Southern African countries playing the qualifiers in South Africa due to the standard of their pitches maybe not meeting FIFA requirements. Now, Twala, the little touch closely watched on this near side by Lesotho. Nicely done in keeping it moving by Ogome. Heavy first touch, losing out then to Matebula. Done well to hold on to it here and try and protect it. In the end, he was fouled and used his body well then to keep it between the man and the ball. Foul committed by Butsile Sakana. Well, there are a few supporters that are arriving out on the far side, mind you. Still, all of them looking for what's left of the sun in as far as the stands. So they're trickling in slowly. James was looking to find Lesotho, who has remained an outlet out wide on this left side. He just couldn't find the precision he was looking for. Piliso it is now. Forced backwards in order to go forward, Eswatini. Now, good movement here, and well, looking to sneak in behind the defense was Zakandela. The flag going up a little late then, finding him in an offside position, but they need to be wary of him chasing down absolutely everything.
That's when he's just always believing that he's going to get the ball, and you've got to always say, as a sweeper, you can't be chasing the action, you've got to be confronting it. And that's where the problem is. And I've seen Oba Gensenono has always been caught on the wrong side of the game.
Well, after that good start from Botswana inside the opening 5 minutes, I think it's safe to say, Kama, we've seen less and less of over the last 15 or so minutes, and more of a Victor James on the other side of the field.
Interesting is that the game is a bit balanced, and I can't wait to see the stats, because Eswatini is now back into the game and they're more comfortable exchanging passes, as is the case now.
Dlamini looking for Twala. He is heavily involved as the man wearing the captain's armband for Eswatini. There he is, winning it back in the middle of the park. Biting challenge coming in then. The referee allowing play to continue. 30 minutes of play gone by. 0-0 the scoreline between Eswatini and Botswana. Well, keeper with a heavy touch. Could be in trouble here. Well, they would have been hoping for a penalty out in Botswana. The striker stayed down here, but well, Olani Kama with a first touch put him under tremendous amount of pressure, and lucky that the referee had a good view on that situation and was able to make the call. Early ball played in, good run, header! Just wide, that's a lovely chance. That's good ball to find that run that came in from deep then. Why with the movements, plays for Police out in Botswana.
That was another header, could have also been on target. But what was Gama doing there? Trying some skills.
That's the question.
No, not a penalty, because you'll realize that Tlalefang was trying to milk the situation.
I still turn to find a bit of space from Ratoko. Again, pressure applied here and sensible defending. Good understanding between goalkeeper and defender. Foul by Poliso. I think he had his arms all over his opponents right up until the ball just got to them, then able to get the advantage. Well, with the brand of football both these sides have been playing, one would think we should be due a goal before the end of this first half. Ramote. This time surely we'll be looking for a teammate. Twala, good touch. Looking to kickstart the counter-attack. He's got runners here to the left and right, opting to go left. With some further options on the edge of that box. Is beautifully done by Eswatini. Twala! Victor James read that situation superbly. Came out and made himself huge to deny Eswatini another good goal-scoring opportunity. The ball dealt with defensively with the header.
Yeah, that was hurting. He made a brilliant save, James, but it hit him right on the diaphragm here, and that's why he's on the ground. He's in pain. But he closed the angle very, very tight for Twala to finish.
How's that counter-attack from Eswatini, however? How Twala held it up, the runners spread out all across him, and the flowing football from then on, including that nifty little flick towards Twala in the end, Marks.
Those touches, I can see they're popular with both teams. You know, youngsters like those touches when they see them somewhere when they watch football. And it just almost paid dividends. And I was tempted to think that Twala could have chipped it. But there is no ways that he could have chipped it, because everything happened so fast and the keeper closed the angle so tight.
Good goalkeeping, good reading of the game on 2 occasions now. By the man who's down injured, yep. Faces tough football for Masitaoga, but he's twice now made saves where reading of the game has been important, and he's needed time coming off his line, and he's done that superbly and made himself big. Few supporters now taking up positions. The sun fading fast out to that far side, so they'll enjoy what they can of it. And well, you can see the way they're dressed here. They are expecting it to get cold as the day does go on. Hope he's got a jacket for about an hour's time, Max.
Well, he just wants to show us the team he supports because he's here to recruit, because they need every good player. Good to see youngsters watching football, and schools are closed,
Schools are closed.
They can just spend a lot of time here. We need to invite more of them.
Yep, keep in mind, if you are watching it on nearby, it is free, of course, to come in on a first-come, first-serve basis. Ticket office here at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. It's the way to go about picking up your tickets.
And you don't even get to watch one game. You watch two, you watch three.
Games, yeah.
On a good day, you watch three. Interesting what is going through the Rosa's mind, the coach of Botswana, because he's got his substitutes warming up already.
Good goalkeeping from Victor James then. Very impressed with him in this first half. But yeah, you are right, Mark. Substitutes but warming up. Now, something to chase here. Something could be on here for ESWATINI. Good movement. Oh, good save again from James. Another shot. Oh, it's come off the woodwork. ESWATINI ripping that Botswana defense to shreds on a few occasions now. And unlucky, eventually, not to find the back of the net once they had eventually found the beating of Victor James.
You're just impressed by James, and I can also say the coach must be depressed by his defense. Because that defense is always exposing James. Another save, and when you work hard, luck will come your way. Did you see how the post, the upright, helped him? And that's James for you, closing the angles. He's just from recovering from injury, and back in action again.
Listen on. Well, ESWATINI here will go to the change room a frustrated bunch if they don't find the back of the net by half-time with the chances they've created and the quality of chance they've created. Foul here in the middle of the park. Ratoko will go into the referee's book. First yellow card of this year's HOLLYWOODBETS COSAFA Cup with that challenge. Now, let's have a look at this build-up here from ESWATINI. Again, it's Kadlela chasing down everything, but that pass, though.
Just passed it with the outside of the boot and just on the path of his teammate. And that's when, again, the upright just denied ESWATINI a goal.
Once again, Kadlela again with the follow-up shot to this man here. Has well been the standout player so far for Botswana. Victor James. Well, in England some years ago, there was a goalkeeper that maybe the older generation would remember, and that was known as Calamity James. Victor is anything but.
I thought of that James. I remember in the World Cup there was a goal scored from the corner, straight into the back of the net, and the English fans were just livid. They just wanted him back. Calamity James. I remember him well.
Piliso. Now, James off his line then. That could have ended differently had there been more power on that header from Twala. He was able to adjust and realign himself with the flight of the ball then. Had there been power on that, I don't think he would have been able to make those adjustments.
Always a question when the keeper leaves his line and the defender's looking down and trying to play to the keeper. I want to find that he's not there, he was there. And it's in the back of the net.
Much busier of the two keepers now as we approach the last 5 minutes of this first half. It's being Victor James. Well, spoke of scouts being out there, and well, the DSTV Premiership will certainly have a good number of scouts keeping tabs on these games. ESWATINI pushing forward again with the early ball. James is one man who's making a name for himself nice and early here in this tournament. You'll think of the number of goalkeepers at the last AFCON that played their football in the DSTV Premiership. The Namibian goalkeeper, of course, and he's a hero. Keep in mind, he's the reserve keeper for Chippa United here in Gqeberha.
And the same Chippa United keeper made his heroics at AFCON.
Yep.
And also our own Ronwen Williams.
Yeah. The Nigerian keeper was also Chippa United. So a good few. And Ghana as well. With the Ofori. So many keepers will know that clubs in the DSTV Premiership have an eye out for them. Now, ESWATINI. Ball back to the top of the box. That's good work on the defensive end then from Botswana. Certainly under pressure here in this first half. Masangani. Driving forward is Masangani. Too much done on the ball then. Chance for a counter-attack here for Botswana. Attempted a 1-2. Superbly read and dealt with. They'll be lucky to get the corner, Botswana here.
Yeah, that's the problem with Botswana. When they come with a counter-attack, they end up outnumbered all the time. It means the midfielders are just not quick enough to join the fray as the team attacks. And that is why, because they've got a lot of sort of defending to do, they end up forgetting numbers to attack. Yeah. Because then it means a lot of workload from both sets of players.
Here's a worrying sight for Botswana as the match referee from Madagascar makes his way across the field here. I say worrying sight because their best player on the day is struggling somewhat. Is the knee that's the problem? Or the thigh? Could be the inner thigh that's also a problem then, but I'll be hoping at the very least he can make it to the half-time break here, Mafa, and get some attention during the break.
Still young, he'll make it. He's still young.
Yep, the inner thigh seems to be a problem. Top of the thigh, the groin area.
The groin area. Unfortunately, as a keeper can get away with it. He doesn't have to run around. So just as I thought when I was saying, just give him some tablets. I don't want to mention the word tablets, but those tablets, the popular ones, and he'll be fine.
Well, even ladies looking forward to the games here. Remember the COSAFA Women's Championships were held here a few years ago, a couple of editions back, showing some good numbers. More and more youngsters making their way out into the stands now. James, okay, game will continue soon here. Botswana having the corner. What a story it could be if they could find the back of the net, having been under the cosh for much of this first half.
I love that nickname of ESWATINI.
Yeah, the owner's shoe. Translated, it means the owner's shoe.
Against the Zebras. You know, when I heard Botswana Zebras, I expected them to be in black and white throughout.
Yeah. Now, pull into the box. Oof, had to play that defensively with two strikers looking to get onto the end of it at the expense of a corner, but may have done some damage to himself then dealing with that. Spelelo Piliso, one of the Mbabane Swallows players out of that field.
He wasn't touched at all. He was alone. He landed badly. Awkward landing.
Let's look at it again here. Yeah. Lower back may be an issue. Or is it a head problem?
But he didn't land on his head. Or is he suggesting that Botswana is starting to become a headache?
With all these corners and set pieces, there may be. This best moment for Botswana in this match, early on, the opening minutes. Had the set piece with Ramaote then forcing the save out of Kama. Little did we know the goalkeepers were to stand out in the first 45 minutes. Following that, Ramaote with yet Another dead ball situation. Kama. Well, he followed that a long way beyond that far post. Gets the touch, into touch.
That's confidence for you. I've been looking at the height of both keepers. They're quite lanky keepers that can always be very useful because their height comes in handy in situations like this.
Also, for big men, they're able to move around quite well. Good balance, good agile movements. Now, 2 minutes added on to the end of the first half. Both these sides with a chance now to find a moment of inspiration and take the lead into the halftime break. Masangani's chance or turn to need a bit of help getting back up onto his feet. He plays his club football for Royal Leopards. Does Simango Masangani, the only Royal Leopards player in the starting 11.
Or is the trailing hand that caught him on his face? I was wondering what could have happened to him.
Nicely done here by Lesotho. Out right on the near side, under pressure the entire time here. And they're doing a good job of closing down the midfield. ESWATINI here, not allowing the men from Botswana to have it their own way with their build-ups. Committing the foul in the end is Ricky Ratloho, another of the men from Orapa United. 4 players in the starting 11, and as far as Botswana are concerned, are from Orapa United. Now, Botswana eating away at the last few seconds of this first half. There you have it. Well, very watchable first half of football here, where Botswana started brightly, but it's ESWATINI that has the bulk of the chances and the better moment.